South Jersey bad boys.
Whoa, hit it with the bass, dude. Wow.
Gotta jack the bass up on Dad's car. And
Not
just
expecting the baritone on that. Whoa.
That was like one of those like
I am
creepy.
rock hard.
Yeah. It's like one of those like creepy like church songs where you were like in church all the time, the people that like wanted to get on American Idol but didn't make it through the first round, and they're in church and they're just belting it. And you got like a bunch of old people and they're just letting it rip, and then somebody just comes out of nowhere and they're just like, oh, like
Baby, lock them doors and turn them lights down low.
yeah, you just gotta switch it up. You know, get into Dad's car for the first time. He's got the treble way up because it makes classic rock sound good. You turn that down, you jack the bass up.
Yeah.
Then you get some old 2-pack playing, and you're like, yeah.
2-pack Shakur.
Yeah, yep. No, one of our favorites on this program is 2-pack Shakur. And
When you say program, that kind of cancels out all the street cred that we've worked so hard to develop.
We've developed it quite a lot. We're getting a lot of street cred these days. Somebody said that we're gayer than Richard Simmons, and then a nice, lovely old couple said that we crack her and her husband and grandchildren up. So
keep commenting in because our fan base is growing.
Yeah, we'll email
and weirdly
you.
homophobic.
Yeah. Oddly, it's like Richard Simmons. It's like
you couldn't find a more up-to-date reference.
Yeah, it was a reference from like what, early or mid '90s. I think Richard Simmons has been missing for quite some time, or at least was.
I heard about that.
But I mean, like,
turned up yet?
I think he has. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, and I think he has. But I mean, gayer than what was gay about Richard Simmons? Have you seen Sweatin' to the Oldies, or did I see a different copy? Because
I didn't even know he was gay.
I didn't know he was either. Nothing that guy has ever done has been anything close to.
What about him is gay?
That's I like what he's doing is pretty fucking sweet. I mean,
what about Dick Simmons is gay, bro?
Yeah, Dick Simmons. Yeah,
Dick Simmy.
I think they're talking about that. What's the other guy? Russell Simmons. I think that guy is a flaming homosexual, and yeah, I don't see it with Richard.
I don't. I wouldn't have guessed it.
I wouldn't have guessed it either.
But then again, my gaydar is not the strongest.
Yeah, our choice, our life choices sometimes are questionable, especially when we're drinking Canadian coffee on Labor Day. And I had to look it up, and Canada stole Labor Day from the U.S., by the way. Yep, they stole it. The U.S. enacted it in the late 1870, 80-ish range, and then Canada, 1894 comes around, and they're like, you know what? We need a day off for all of our hard workers as well. And we'll take that holiday and we'll put it on the same day.
Interesting. That's
first Monday of September.
Wow.
They had the jacket, and to this day, is it just like I know it's like labor worker or something or another. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that
that they stole it.
That they stole it, and then we're just off, and it's just
stolen valor. Yeah.
It's just one of those things. So what did you do on your Labor Day weekend or week headed into it?
Dude, so here's what's going on. This past week, so me and the lady were in the house. All the projects that have been going on, been posting about them. Shout out to my haters that say that I can't do it. You know who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm proving them wrong left and right, and I'm getting these projects done, and I'm doing what I do. So the most recent shit is all of a sudden we're getting all this water. It's backing up into our washing machine. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Yeah. And then it starts coming out of our downstairs toilet.
Oh, fuck.
Getting everywhere. I'm like, oh, my God, this fucking sucks. So we call out a plumber. Plumber comes out. He's like, you got a drainage issue. I'll just snake the line and unclog it. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So he does that. Like 2 days later, happens again. I'm like, what the fuck?
Guy comes back and he's like, what type of big shits are you guys taking? Somebody's rock solid in these pipes.
He did say, he was like, are you guys using like the wet wipes or stuff? And I'm like, no, it's not anything we've put in here. Like, we don't use the wipes or anything like that. We're not flushing anything. It's just me and Sam in the house. Yeah. So he snakes it again, and then it doesn't happen for a couple of days. I'm like, all right, hopefully he was saying because it's an older house that there wasn't really anybody living in it before we moved in there for a while. I mean, there was a guy there, but he was kind of using it as storage, that it's probably, it just hardened up in there, and like, maybe it just dried out and you just had to unclog, and finally got backed up. So I'm like, all right, well, hopefully that's the case. 2 days later, it happens again, dude.
This guy's getting pissed. He's like, is this a fucking prank show? He's like, why do I keep coming out?
Well, I'm pissed too, because they're just like, yeah, we could snake the line again. I'm like, obviously that's not the issue because it keeps happening. And I'm not going to keep paying you guys $160 to come out here.
Holy shit.
And not fix it.
Are they at least catching anything on that line when they snake it and they're like, yeah, this was your problem? Like, it's
the first time, no. And then the second time, he's like, I found like some tree roots and like a Wawa trash bag. So then I was like, well, hopefully, maybe, I don't know.
Tree roots. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm like, maybe that was it. But then we have water that's coming up into our backyard.
Yeah.
I show you that, like in the corner.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there shouldn't be any water that's rising. And I talked to the plumber. He's like, yeah, it's just natural water.
You got a spring in your backyard?
Yeah, he goes, it's natural water that just rises. Like, it's just one of those areas. I go, why would it just be in the one corner?
What the fuck?
Like I'm like, that's not it, dude. So, and I'm like, it doesn't explain all of the issues that we're having.
Yeah.
And then I call a different company, and the guy comes out. He's like, yeah, you got a cracked sewer line, dude. You have a cracked sewer line underneath that. Like,
yeah.
And I'm like, God fucking damn it.
And it's one of those things where if the sewer line is running to the sidewalk, you own all of that to the point of the street. So, like, do you guys have to fix that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Which is a big
It's
ordeal.
a bitch. And that's why I get all the things in the mail. They're like, oh, you should insure this and insure that. And I'm like, fuck that. It's not going to happen.
I know. And this is like...
Jesus, so it is a cracked sewer line, and they're going to stick you with it.
They already did it. They came over.
Oh, shit.
They had to put in a whole new line.
Damn.
Crack up the cement. Our whole house is like a construction zone right now. I mean, I think they fixed the issue, but dude, it's an expensive
little
fucking
project.
ordeal.
Jesus, and it's not something that's like, you show off to people when they come over, but you definitely should now. It's like, hey, let me get like a camera and stick it down there. Check out these new pipes.
Yeah, so that's what they did to diagnose the issue too. The guy stuck a camera and like through the line, and it looked like tree roots cracked through the old pipes.
Holy shit!
So it was just
damn, tree roots can break through lead or whatever the fuck pipes are. I
guess it was an old line, and then like between that, and then I guess the tree roots growing through it. But apparently that happens all the time.
Huh. Interesting.
So hopefully that
Meanwhile, the first plumber is just sticking his head like down your toilet the pipe where it comes up into the
probably
floor.
Some wet wipes.
Yeah, it's just some wet wipes. Just sticking his head, looking underneath of it, upside down.
That's just natural water that just comes out of your backyard. I'm like, why does it smell like shit, dude?
It's just natural
water.
What are you
talking about?
That is incredible. I was just watching like a Netflix documentary about like bottled water and everything and how it's like exploited by Nestle and all this other stuff. And like they just go to springs. They go to municipal water places all throughout the country and it's a whole sham. But it's just like, it'd be hilarious. You have a spring in your backyard and you just go back there. You have people come over, fill up their own water things. It's like, oh, it's a spring. And
they got a white trash pond.
Yeah.
White trash South Jersey pond, baby.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, so that was my holiday week.
Jesus. So you're just tuning into this old house all the time now, just watching home improvement shows.
Damn right.
That show always pissed me off because my dad watched it all the time growing up, and then I started seeing it when I had issues, and I started looking things up, and those videos come up all the time. Those guys, the problem is that when you're doing a household thing, it's not as easy as they make it seem, and they never curse or lose their shit throughout any of these videos. Because it's like, I'm doing it, and I'm following
not a realistic version.
No, I follow it step by step by step, and then it turns out I don't have the same size, wrench that he's using, so I try and just, make it work with what I have, and then I fuck something up.
It's always that you don't have the right tools.
Yeah.
If you have the right tools, those projects are easy, but it's like, you know, who has the money to have all these very, and also how often are you using them?
Well, that's the thing. He's like, oh, this project will be super simple. You just need this wrench, you need a screwdriver, and then you also need this one thing that costs like $250. And you may only use one more time in your entire life.
Yeah, this will take you real quick. You just need a tractor, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And these guys, they just do it, and they just walk right through it, calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah.
I start doing it as soon as I feel a bead of sweat go down my face. I'm like, this motherfucking piece of shit. And
they leave out the amount of slurs that are thrown around.
Yeah, especially, they're like from Boston, those guys, the Bob Vila and the guys that do those things. Like, they talk, and it just sounds like that they have definitely gotten into a few screaming matches with people in a bar.
Yeah. with their wife.
Yeah, with their wife, too. Yeah. They've had a few cops called on some home incidents. And it wasn't related to home improvement projects. I can tell you that much. Yeah, but those shows are just, and you are getting into it, and it's just doing all that shit.
Yeah, it's not a realistic version. They that would be a funny channel if you have a guy who does the projects, but he also shows like the anger that comes out as you're doing them.
Yeah.
And like what to expect. This is how angry you can probably expect if you're going to refinish the floors.
Yeah. You give it a scale.
Just like, my fucking back is killing me.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, well, I could deal with that for a day.
Yeah. Yep.
And that way you know how much to.
Yeah. They try to do that, but not doing it exactly. They'll put sometimes they'll have a difficulty level.
Yeah.
And it's like a difficulty. Let's just make that a little bit more of a realistic thing.
And the guy will just look into the camera and he'll be like, now this project can be a doozy.
It can be a little bit of
What do you mean by that? A doozy, dude.
Yeah. You might throw around a few curse words. You might not use a slur, but he's like,
you might beat your wife by the end of this project.
You're definitely going to assault your child if he gets in your way while doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ask that little shit to hold the ladder.
You might be divorced as soon as you're finished this project.
Yeah, but it'll turn out great. It'll look nice for the neighbors when they come over.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
When they come over to check on your wife when they hear screaming. It's going to look great. Yeah. But it is Labor Day, and I went and saw Bert Kreischer last night in AC.
Boy.
And great entertainer. He has a different level of stand-up where it's the entertainment value behind it and the way that he puts on a show. Like, he had a sizzle reel play before he came out.
Really? What was the reel?
It was literally like a sizzle reel you would give to somebody trying to pitch like them as a show. Like, it was literally just showing his numbers on podcasts, like how many impressions and numbers and subscribers he gets. But then it's going in and out of clips of him from his entire career. It'll show like a quick little bit from a special, then it'll go to a Travel Channel thing he did, then it'll go to the big show that he did on TBS or whatever.
That's kind of cool.
It was cool to see, but I'm like, and then it just shows like all these numbers of everything. It's like top 50 podcast, 1.6 million subscribers, like this.
The numbers thing is kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird.
But I guess it sounds like he's trying to show like the growth of like where he started to now, like how well. But it's kind of like, yeah, we know you're doing the Hard Rock.
Yeah, you're playing a 5,000 seat arena for 2 shows.
That's kind of strange.
It is crazy though.
Pop the shirt off?
Oh yeah, immediately. He comes out, he's just wearing it. Everyone's going fucking wild. Then he just rips it right off, puts on the hat that he's wearing.
The guy knows how to fucking party, man.
He does. And it's incredible because he was in Hawaii, and he went from Hawaii to do a makeup fully loaded show in Mississippi on Friday.
Holy shit.
He did that Friday, got into AC Saturday morning, did a show in AC Saturday night, and then Sunday night, and then, obviously leaving today. But just going from Hawaii to Mississippi to AC and just night after night after night.
Yeah, and doing like long ass shows and probably drinking his fit. That's crazy.
He did an hour and a half, which was wild.
God.
And you're in an arena. We got they were $75 tickets, and we're probably like 15 or 20 rows from the back wall.
Yeah.
I don't know how much people paid to sit all the way in the front. But he started doing crowd work an hour and 15 into his set. The whole show was over 2 hours, and he just started doing crowd work towards the end before he did the machine bit, which that tells you as a comic, what other stand-up comedian has ever closed every single show for the last 5 years of their career with the same joke that has been everywhere that a movie is being made about it?
Right. Yeah.
He said he's waiting for that movie to come out after the whole Russia-Ukraine thing dies down.
But did he?
Yeah, he made the movie around the machine. I think.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he filmed that
in Siberia, right?
Yeah, Serbia or Siberia. What the fuck? Serbia and Siberia two different places?
I never even thought about that, and I think that they are. Siberia,
interesting enough.
Serbia. Huh. Whoa.
Wow.
We'll have to look that up.
This is like coming to the realization that the Earth is flat. We're like, wow, this is incredible if you truly think about it.
Wow. Since when?
Yeah. So it was a great show and great time, and everybody. It was a good overall thing. We're so far from the back though, and you're in an arena, and we're sitting next to these group of squawking whores.
To put it delicately.
There was a group of 5 white women who they weren't with guys. I looked at them multiple times, and even when they got up to leave, it was just 5 white girls together. I'm like, is this Bert Kreischer's audience? I thought it was like me and other 20 and 30-year-old dudes, but he's branching out, which is nice to see. But they did not shut the fuck up.
Oh, that ruins your time.
And and I'm just like, because the entire time I'm watching,
a long show.
It was a long show, and I was enjoying the fuck out of it. But then every little thing that she was doing, the girl directly next to me was just eating at me. Like, I'm just, holy shit, this is the most annoying. All the way down to how she would clap. She clapped like this. She would go like this with her fingers out, And I'm like, you look like a seal.
Would bother me. Yeah.
I could see it out of the corner of my eye. I was like, why don't you just like a normal person? But she's like this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What's wrong with you?
And when she was laughing, I know some people have like interesting, weird, different types of laughs. Her laughs, she was pronouncing the ha's. Like she was like ha 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 ha. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then when she didn't laugh out loud, she did that. I was like, fuck. I just wanted to like call security and just get somebody in there, but it was just throughout the entire thing.
You know, it's really bad too when you start noticing every little thing because if you get so annoyed by them, then every little thing is gonna bother you too.
Every little thing. And then like Rachel's over here, and then at one point she tried putting her head on my shoulder. I was like, don't fucking do that. I was like, but also in a comedy show, I was like, Rachel, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, you're like, we're in a rom-com or something, you're putting your head on my shoulder like this.
Are you nuts? This ain't the movies, bitch.
Yeah, it's like we're not seeing I don't even know.
She's
the
trying
name
to have
of
like a very nice intimate moment. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Guy?
He's up there talking about going down on his wife. This isn't your point to just be like, oh, this is such a nice time, isn't it? Like,
we're not watching a sunset here.
Yeah, you're not watching a sunset or
out of shape dude with his shirt off.
Yeah.
Talk about getting his dick
we're not watching our friends with our first dance with her husband at a wedding. You just put your head on someone's shoulder. It's like, no, we're here to hear some dick jokes, you know?
Birdie boy.
And the only other thing that like really capped off this thing with this girl was that they had a huge monitor right over like this way.
Hopefully it didn't fall on any Chinese locals.
Yeah, some Chinese just dancing around. I mean, holy shit!
Like from that clip that we saw.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. I'm sure. I'm surprised he didn't bring those guys out to do a dance number. That would have been nice.
Could have really exploded.
But going through some of the casinos in Atlantic City, holy shit! It's like the United Nations down there. Fuck.
Yeah.
And it's just families and families of people, and I'm just like, holy hell, this is one diverse thing. And then Bert's show was definitely all white people. But you know, what can you do?
Should have had the South Jersey Bad Boys on, dude. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Would have opened it up.
Yeah.
Done a live pod.
Would have done a live pod to open it up for 45 minutes.
That would be hilarious for him or like anybody that big if they just didn't say anything and like they have somebody who has a podcast like us who nobody knows about.
Yeah.
And just let us open the show and people being like, I've never heard of these guys before. Like they don't really seem to have much of a following that I'm finding here on social media. It's interesting choice that Bert would let him open the show for an hour.
But this is nice. I am their 147th follower.
Yeah. And Bert just not acknowledge it at all.
No, just come right on out.
Like don't even say like give it up for the like just be like
whoever the fuck that was.
Just get right into a show.
That'd
be cool. We'll throw it by him.
We'll run it by. We'll have our people reach out to their people. So this girl is looking at the monitor over there, and I'm looking at the stage. Yeah. It's like I'm watching the live person because I was like, I'm not going to watch the monitor if I can see them there. I watch the live person. She wants to look that way. So here I am staring this way, and she's right next to me looking this way. It's basically like we're just locking eyes the entire time. And I just have to look at her at the corner of my eye the entire fucking show, and then hear that. And I'm just like, fucking Christ.
I would just be...
Yeah, I should have just like threw a fucking elbow in there, accidentally, accidentally spilled my Aperol spritz on her. But she was also one of those people that responded to the jokes in her own.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which in a comedy club, that would be like she would have gotten torched for that.
Yeah.
But like here, she's like responding to them, and someone made a joke about some type of drink, and then she was just like, that's like my Aperol spritz. And then she just starts talking to somebody about an Aperol spritz. I'm just like shut the fuck up. White women ruin everything. I mean, that's the moral of this story.
White chicks, bro.
Yeah. But it
immediately becomes uncool.
Yeah, it does.
Once white girls get involved.
Once they do, and it seems like that's going to be what's taken over.
White girls are public enemy number one right now.
They really are. Yeah.
Everybody has a problem.
Everyone does have a problem.
Even white women have a problem with white women.
Yeah, I mean, just look at every reality show known to man on TV right now. It's just white women going at each other's throats. All you got to do is just
put them in a room.
A social experiment. Can we just get 8 white women from different parts of New Jersey or the Philadelphia area, and we just put them in an escape room and just see what happens? I would pay a monthly subscription to watch that show.
There'd be multiple deaths.
There would be multiple deaths. People start crying. Someone would lose their phone. It would turn into an entire debacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the original Saw. If fucking
was Saul inspired by a group of white women in an escape room?
just the general thought of like, if you keep these people in a room, lock them in there together, and people are going to start losing their fucking minds.
They will gouge their own eyeballs out to get out of
Do
there.
crazy shit to get out of there.
Yeah,
If you put me in that today, yeah, I'd saw my leg off to get out of there.
I would saw my leg off to get out of my own house with my wife. But I mean, would you go into it? Should we go into an escape room with Sam and Rachel? And I wouldn't do it.
Goddamn nightmare.
No, it wouldn't, because we would get yelled at for something that we did or didn't do.
Why isn't it working?
Yeah. How do you not know what that is telling you to do?
Yeah.
Does it remind you of something? Did you ever do it? Like, they would just be pulling up shit from all over the place. I mean, it would just be. I did see an interesting study actually yesterday about women as well. They said that archaeologists are more likely to be women because of how good they are at digging up things from the past. So that was just a meme that I saw the other day. You know, I love my boomer humor. You know how I do it.
100% fact. They should just make all of the FBI women.
They really should.
They will crack every case.
They would crack every case.
Nothing will get by them.
No. And it is Labor Day, and you know how Labor Day sales are always going on? They say it's the second best day for sales for retail businesses outside of Black Friday.
Hey.
Labor Day, right? You always see that furniture store that's been going out of business for 15 years in a row, and they just constantly have a sale. I saw one that came up, and this is an interesting, I did not expect to see this one for a Labor Day sale. This one here is for a Labor Day sale. Hold on, wait a second. I'm going to redo this part. Labor Day sale for Wheel of Fortune live in Philadelphia.
Whoa.
You can save 50% to see Wheel of Fortune live in Philadelphia.
Get the heck out of here. Should we go?
I think we should go just so we can hang out with Pat Sajak.
Fuck yeah.
But like, also, how in the fuck is Wheel of Fortune in Philadelphia going to go down? The amount of misspellings that are going to go up on that board.
Oh my God. How is this show even still on?
I don't know. It's been going on forever. Apparently, there was a guy that hosted it before Pat Sajak, which to me, I'm just like, holy shit. Like, who was that? You can just see some Philly guy up there. It's, I like to buy a vowel. Yeah, the letter M. There's no way anybody, the amount of grammatical errors, misspellings, there's bound to be words that someone's going to misspell, and they're going to be just
Yeah, let me get an A, dude.
let me get
a U. Water. Let me get a WOODER.
Water. They should just have it filled up. This Wheel of Fortune better be a Philly version of Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just all Philly topics, everything from just like, you got nothing but, Dick Vermeil, and you got to spell Dick Vermeil up there. Then, gun crime statistics, anything Philly centric, they're going to put up there. Pat Sajak's going to be wasted. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, Wawa.
Yeah, I think we should go. And what do you think some of the prizes on a Philly Wheel of Fortune are going to be? You're going to get a week-long stay at a waterfront condominium timeshare in Camden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, if you get this right, you're going to get yourself a free shorty for the next 3 months. Nice Wawa hoagie.
Yeah. And if you guess this letter correctly, we're going to give you a free month on SEPTA, a free SEPTA pass, and it's going to come with Kevlar as well.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'll fucking take that, dude. I'll take down this Wheel of Fortune, bro.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune, dude. Wheel of Fortune, that sounds like my fucking
I don't know.
shit,
they're gonna do the Wheel of Fortune in Philly. They're gonna come out to start the show, and the actual wheel is just gonna be on a cinder block because the wheel got stolen.
Yeah. Talk about a fortune, man.
Yeah. All the copper lining that's inside of that wheel just gets stolen. It's at a scrapyard in Delco by the next morning.
Immediately.
Yeah. Pat Sajak's going to be wearing a suit that he that got down the street at a thrift store because his actual nice one got stolen out of the Lowe's Hotel. Yeah. Oh, God, it's just going to be Vanna White, too. Fuck that. We need to kick her out. We need to get a nice Delco broad up there.
She's still popping around?
She's still popping around. Her and Pat Sajak look like, do they just drink the blood of newborn children? Like, how do they still look 45 years old?
Is she still looking good?
I think so. I think she's still a piece.
Can we give her a goog?
Let's give her a goog right now and see what Vanna White... Is it the same one, or do they replace her like they do like dogs that die on like sitcoms, and they get like a same looking golden retriever and they just swap it in? Is this just
That's probably what's happening. They get a similar looking white woman. They give the same hairstyle, and they go, "Yep, that's still Vanna."
Is Vanna White her actual name? I mean, she's got her own Wikipedia. I mean, holy shit. Let's see how old she is. She is
that her right now?
She's 65. No, that was from 2006. Let me get a photo of her.
Let's get a recent one.
Let's get a recent one
65. She looks great.
She's looking good.
She is still got it.
She's still got it.
She looks great.
She looks good. I mean, now you zoom in a little bit, and now you can kind of see what we're dealing.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, Vanna White, because of those pearly whites. Look at them suckers.
She looks fucking good, man.
She looks good. She can go up there and just touch all those monitors. Her job is about to be automated out of business too. I mean, they've literally, this job could have been gone years ago. I mean, you can turn a monitor, and you still have to have somebody go up and touch a screen.
But you don't get that Vanna White touch.
The touch from Vanna White, that's right. And her walking across, and she's gonna, break her ankle with one of those high heels going through the boards of the boardwalk that they do this on.
She's a legend.
Yeah. And her and Pat Sajak have been this dynamic duo forever. And what can you do? We'll go tailgate it though.
Damn. Man, she looks great.
Yeah, she's looking good. Speaking of Philly as well, I saw that there was a new study that came out. Apparently, Philly was ranked the rudest U.S. city.
Yes, I saw this.
The rudest city in the U.S. And
they put this in the Inquirer?
Yeah, this is where the Inquirer is now. They have to run a headline that says, "Is Philly the rudest U.S. city? Only if you're a whiny baby."
Oh my God, that's a legitimate article. I was going to say at first, I'm like, why would they put this in the Philadelphia Inquirer? But then now that I see the spin that they put on it, yeah, only if you're a bitch. That's the most Philly headline I've ever seen in my life. Is Philly rude? Yeah, if you're a fucking baby about it.
Yeah. Go back to fucking North Jersey if you got a problem with it.
I mean, we are 1,000%. Philly is the rudest. I mean, they nailed it. It is the rudest.
It is, yeah. And I think what they were doing is that they were trying to. The study was done to help travelers determine what to expect when visiting. So on an average rudeness scale, the average rudeness was a 5.1. Philly scored at 6.43.
Whoa! Clock it in.
It is across the board. Whether you're living up here, you're living down here. If a guy comes up to you on the street and he asks for $1, and you say, "Sorry, man, I only got credit card. I don't have anything for you," you'll be like, "Well, fuck you then." Like it is one of the rudest general cities. However, a lot of people in this area take pride in being rude. So like
that's the thing. Like you're only hyping us up more.
Yeah, you're only hyping it up more. And then everybody in this area, if anyone acts rude to you, I've seen people that will promote the fuck out of something like this, and they're like, "This is great. This is what Philadelphia is all about." And then they get treated like that, and they're like, "Wait a second, that's pretty fucked up." Yeah. And it's just once it spins around,
It's the same thing with our sports fans. Like now that we are known, I mean, we've been known for being absolute animals. Mm-hmm. We just continue to double down and lean into it.
Yeah. Yep. And of course, you see that whenever like a Monday Night Football's in town or a nationally televised sporting event, what did they show on the reel as they're playing before the game? You got all the people at the Rocky Steps, then they get the cheesesteaks, then they got remember when they threw snowballs at Santa Claus in 1968?
God, let it go, man.
It's always like, that's like the thing
Santa deserved it.
Yeah, he did. He was a drunk guy dressed in Santa that was out there and they were losing and they threw snowballs at them. It's like, that would happen today if it didn't then. Like, I think that should be an annual tradition in Philly, is that somebody drunkenly dresses as Santa. I mean, they do a Santa bar crawl. Like, we should just recreate that and start fucking...
Oh, I'd love to peg those people with snowballs.
Anybody that does those... Have you ever do those massive bar crawls in Philly? Like the Aaron Express one and like all those?
I've probably been to Aaron Express. I've never done like the Santa... whatever.
They do a Santa bar crawl. They do an Easter bunny hop thing or something.
Oh, yeah. I'm not dressing up.
Yeah, no.
I'll do a little St. Patty's Day, throwing some green.
I mean, I feel like we would get thrown in jail if we didn't celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
For sure.
It's our people. It's our time to shine. We get one day a year, and that one day you have to be blackout drunk. Yeah. I mean, we're going to do it. Sorry. As long as the Boondock Saints isn't on TNT, because I'll be watching that all fucking day. But, I mean, outside of that, that's what you got to do. But then otherwise, we should just get slingshots and hit those Santa Clauses. I mean, we're living up to our reputation.
Yeah, definitely the rudest city. Just like the general demeanor of people. Like, Sam and I have talked about this. You travel elsewhere. Like, I think we're in like Savannah or something. And we're trying to figure out where we're going next. Like, meeting up with some friends at the bar. And we would have multiple people come up to us and be like, "Are you lost? Do you need help, like directions?" And we're immediately like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then after like 3 or 4 people, you realize you're like, "Oh, people are just friendly here."
Yeah.
Like that, we shouldn't be so, but we're just so
on edge.
Yeah, just sketched out by anybody that's like offering a helping hand. We're like, what's your angle, guy?
Yeah. What are you trying to set me up for?
Yeah, I'm like, get the fuck, dude. What are you?
Because it's just like, I mean, you and I have helped multiple people find their way in Philly, but we'll be like, hey, do you need any help? When we lure them into a dark alley, where buddies of ours would then just beat the shit out of them and take their wallets, and it's just not worth it anymore because no one carries cash.
Yeah. So, and like, that's what I thought. I'm like, well, look, I know the drill. I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And listen, geezer, get the hell out of my face.
Yeah. Get
like,
the fuck out of here.
I just thought that I would give you some directions.
They should do this rudeness scale for the homeless populations in every city, because Philly's homeless people are more aggressive than anywhere I've fucking been.
That's true.
They got a lot of tenacity. They're out there to get it. They're in it to win it. They will ask, I will take that picture for you, sir. And then before they give you your phone back, they're like, I'm going to need a 20 spot, though. Yeah.
I've done that too. I've had multiple homeless people in Philly, come up. They'll like, I remember when I lived in Philly, I'd be walking in from work, and they'd like follow me like to my door and be like, I'm like, all right, like here's like, I don't know, I don't have anything. And they'd be like, well, or I'd be like, I don't have any cash on me. They'd be like, listen, I just need a bite to eat. And I'd be like, okay. So I'd like go to the bodega next door. I remember getting something for the guy.
They escorted you into the bodega. They're like,
he's like, man, they don't have any like good food here. I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Literally, it was like, nah, man. He's like, anywhere else we could go? I'm like, I'm not walking around the city here, dude. Like, taking you to the finest restaurants in Philly.
He's like, next Fogo de Chao is next door. Just get me the buffet.
Yeah.
I mean, just a $50 all you can eat. Just let me run with it.
I'm like, guy, you're really pushing your luck with it.
Yeah. It's like, wait, there's nothing good in the bodega. There's cosmic brownies. There's bags.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing.
I think I just gave him the $10. I'm like, just figure it out, man. Here you go. Like, I'm not like, come on.
Here, I'll get cash back on this thing. Let me give you $10, and here's a $5 in Kohl's cash.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
Memphis, Tennessee was right behind Philly, though.
Really?
Never been to Memphis, but I don't know why. Like, they would be rude there. You got good barbecue.
That's interesting.
Elvis's stuff there. Like, what could you possibly be rude about?
Right.
It's also in the South. Like, where the fuck's the Southern hospitality? And New York City is number 3. It's like you got some catching up to do there, New York, if you want to beat out Philly.
Yeah. Well, they could try, but we are pretty rude. We kind of got that on lock.
Yeah, we do. And then just some other, Detroit,
Las Vegas, of course. I mean, it's amazing that more places that have crazy shit like Las Vegas, they have prostitution, all this wild shit going on. And we're still like, we're still more rude.
Yeah. I mean, we
Boston, Detroit.
Yeah, Las Vegas. They could definitely be rude where they just,
city. It's just cities, man. Like,
it's all big cities. Yeah, and the surrounding areas. This is definitely one of the angriest areas of the country, though.
Yeah.
Which, just like when I was in Atlantic City last night, I saw all the license plates. You get such a combination of some of the most aggressive and terrible drivers all in one spot. You got people coming down from New York, you got all the Jersey people, then you got Philly people, you get some Delawares and stuff. Put them all in one spot in a hot spot of a place where it's just like a shit show with people in Atlantic City, and just watch the fireworks happen.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah, Philly's another one that's really tough to drive in too. Like, the streets are so tiny.
Yeah.
So that causes a lot of commotion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it always does. And speaking of, you mentioned going into the workplace, I saw this article where calling men bald is now sexual harassment in employment tribunal rules. It was going after a guy that filed a lawsuit. In 2019, a supervisor referred to this man as a bald cunt during a heated exchange.
Oh my God.
Before he got fired.
And he's like, did you just call me bald? Like, I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah. You bald cunt. You get called that before getting fired. It's like, wait a second. Did you just fucking call me bald?
Wow. That's where I draw the line. Call me cunt all you want. But bald? How dare you?
Yeah. It's like, listen here, sugar tits. That's sexual harassment.
Sugar?
Yeah, really? Yeah. You know I'm diabetic.
I'm diabetic, you son of a bitch.
According to the Daily Mail, a judge found that because hair loss is much more prevalent among men than women, calling someone bald is a form of discrimination. Now, this is the type of news that us men have been waiting for.
Wow.
Everybody like me and all my buddies that got the receding hairlines, we're in this. We stand together as a strong, united front against the form of discrimination of being called bald.
That is wild, man. Like, dude, suck it the fuck up, you dickhead.
Oh man, this article is so fucking interesting. Look at the
Is that
guy.
his hair? Yeah. Oh, does he wear a rug?
I guess so. I mean, that's the photo via a Twitter account. The judge says that he will determine the compensation at a later date. All bald men will be watching.
Getting compensated for being called bald, dude? Wow.
It's unclear where exactly bald men fit on the victim pyramid, though this is yet another example of how men with great hair unfairly lack the opportunity to claim someone has wronged them. It's also a form of discrimination by the system.
So they're saying people with hair are just, we don't have enough discrimination.
Yeah, exactly. We're finding some things to be discriminated against, and I'm here for it.
That is insane.
They determined that by referring to them as a bald cunt, that the supervisor conduct was unwanted and was a violation of the person's dignity. It created an intimidating environment, was done for that purpose. It's related to the claimant's sex.
What a wild thing to even be able to take to court.
Yeah, and I'm sure this guy was just telling this story to like a lawyer buddy of his at a bar, or just a buddy, and a lawyer overheard it, and he's like, wait, someone made a comment about your experience in the workplace?
Yeah.
Or about your appearance in the workplace?
Yeah.
It's like, I think we got a lawsuit
You
here.
got yourself some cash.
Yeah.
Man.
You
got a cash opportunity.
It's like these ambulance chasing lawyers that all you see is their billboards for them. And then these are the guys that are out there trying to find something. It's like, he called you bald. That's against your sex and your, like, you know, it's more prevalent in men, which makes it a sex thing. But then they said sexual. I was like, not sexual. Maybe it's gender, sex-based. I don't know.
Just, you know.
Yeah.
Harassment. Man, this Timmy Hortons is running right through me. I'll tell you what. I've been farting this entire podcast.
Holy shit. Well, then I haven't fucking smelt it yet.
Thank God.
I haven't smelled it. And I heard people, this was a conversation over the weekend. You ever use the term like smelled but smelt with a T on the end?
Sure.
Because when I went to college, people did that, and I was like, that is grammatically incorrect.
Yeah.
That's not how you use that. And you can use it anywhere. Like instead of ED, people just put a T.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the fuck, like what backwoods kind of place am I going to school at?
Yeah.
And then it's actually grammatically correct and smelt. I was like, it just doesn't sound, and it isn't smelt a thing. Like, isn't.
Smelt you fucking later, bro.
Well, I'm sure that has to do with the cream in there. It's just running right through you.
Yeah, I might have to take a shit.
All right. Well, let's see if you can make it through this piece as it relates to it, because that I think that's dairy that came from a cow. But did you guys know that everything you need to know about cockroach milk is a protein-packed superfood that people can't wait to get their hands on?
That is disgusting.
That is fucking disgusting. Cockroach.
That is not helping me not have to take a shit.
But this is going to be able to help the Philadelphia economy, that instead of using all these cows, they can just pick the roaches up out of the street, and we can just squeeze them to get the milk out of them. And cockroach milk is technically a complete food, according to nutritionists, because it contains all of the essential amino acids, fats, and carbohydrates that you need. So
how broke are we getting that that's where we're like experimenting with? Let's see the milk on these puppies. We're milking cockroaches now. That's why the homeless are so strong.
I know. That's why they have that strength, that they just pick up cars and move them to set up their tents. They're just like, they're able to, they contain all these protein crystals and amino acids that they just squeeze out of them. There isn't enough science to prove that cockroach milk is an adequate dairy milk alternative for human consumption yet. Just yet is the key word.
Yeah.
But, you know, when our kids come around, we'll be feeding them out of a bottle. And it's going to be cockroach milk.
Cockroach milk, man. That's where the formula shortage is. That's where it's forcing us to.
It's forcing us to this level. And the one thing that's going to survive...
milk these roaches.
Yeah. If anything's going to survive a nuclear holocaust, it's going to be a cockroach and the milk that we're feeding them.
I didn't know cockroaches had tits.
Yeah, neither did I, but they probably got a few good milkers on them.
Dang.
Damn. Well, for the next one, I'm going to have to look up cockroach tits and see what we can find. Man.
I do have to run to the bathroom.
We're going to end on that. And we're going to, this might be 2 in a row that you're like, oh, fuck. It's barely...
dude, it's coming up on me quick, man.
All right.
Can't help it.
Well, don't fucking clog the pipes.
Yeah,
we're going to call that plumber. He's going, again, at a different restaurant.
You're going to need a new sewer line in your house, dude.
All right, everybody. If you could scratch and sniff this episode, do it. We'll see you later.